Hello, my name is Benjamin Gattet. I'm a French ex-student, and I'm going to talk to you about the school I was in, and then the master thesis I did there, and then my game, hopefully, if we have time, but I'm going to try to go, trying to go super fast. Torsten, you can make me scary faces if I'm like too long. So, I'm from the ED, which is the Haute École d'Art et de Design à Genève, or the Geneva University of Art and Design. And it's a place where we do a lot of different things with new technology, physical computing, new interfaces. We also do programming languages, and it's aimed at designers to make new projects using technology. Well, that's the curriculum. You don't care about that. Like, it's in 4 semesters, and that's the faculty. We have a lot of really nice people. Nicolas Nova was my thesis coordinator, and I don't know if you know any people that are here, like Etienne Mineur, it's a famous French designer. Douglas Cedric Stanley also is a well-known French designer and programmer. If you did stuff in processing, you might know him. And so that's really cool. So a few projects really fast that was made at the school. This was a work by Mathieu Cherubini. It was a bot that you plugged onto your Facebook to take your place when you don't want to do Facebook anymore. So it like continues to interact with people and like make a life. How do you say? Yeah, like it replicates your life as if you were still there. That's a game called Geek Run, and I totally don't know about this game. I think it was about tangible interface, but that's actually a PDF that the school gave me. That's why I'm not. Okay, let's go. That was an exhibition that we made in San Francisco during the GDC with a lot of different games. That's one of the games that was shown, but I don't know why that's a terrible picture. It was a game that was also shown at the Emma Museum in Los Angeles. That's basically a cabinet that you see here with a laser underneath, and you can play a game of Snake, and you see only the dot of the laser moving on the table, and you have 2 buttons on the side to change the direction. And it's really cool because when you just look at it, that's just a piece of furniture. But when you come near it, if you put something on the table, it turns on, and then you can play. Like it's a really nice thing. That's a game by Marion Barret called Onirigami, where you have to you have this scene, and you have also an object that you can see that you put on the scene and that interacts with the scene. That's like a character, and there's a really nice work on shadows and really nice mix between the real world and the virtual world. Also, in the same kind of stuff, you have like tiny bugs on a leaf, and when you put your hand under the leaf, the bugs come to your hand and then follow your hands, stick to your hand like if you had catched it. That was also something really cool. It was a show where all the, I would say the signalétique. No, that's not a word in English. Like in an exhibition, like the text, the name of the arts, captions. Yeah, all the captions were on the ceiling, inverted, and you have to put this contraption with a mirror. So you have to work in the exhibition, and you see the world upside down. There was also some exhibition, some pieces on the ceiling, and it was quite good. And they also do more. How do you say? Commercial work. That was for Tissot, a famous Swiss watch manufacturer, and that's like a booth where you put your hand on in, and you can see on the screen your hand with the watch on it, so you can test watches. So that's cool too. And there was a game also by another alumni where you had to. I don't know either what that is, but well. That was something that was also quite good, made by Nadezhda Sudorova, and it was a game where you had to you had pictures of sky taken, like the ground, but taken from the sky. Aerial photograph. Thanks, my official translator. And you had to recombine the aerial photograph. Like they were like broken, and they were turning, and you had to stop the pieces turning to remake the original picture. That also was something quite good. It was interactive paintings, and the painting did what your face was doing. Like you were smiling, it was smiling, etc. So we're gonna pass that. I don't know what it is. And there was a comic book. I'm sorry, I'm going super fast. But there was a comic book where you could put your iPhone on it, and your iPhone was like a screen in the book with additional interactive contents. And so that's it. If you want to follow the school, that's well, do that. And also there's those projects. I know more of those projects, and they are really interesting for this kind of events. This is a project called Heracles or Heracles 555, and it's a game with another controller, the dedicated controller, where the controller is like this kind of analog synthesizer that you could use like in combination with the game. Each part of the synthesizer hold different games, and when you go further into the games, it goes more and more complicated because you add all the things together. And it was like something like that, something really abstract that you can control with this analog things, and it also makes the sound. The synths really makes the sound with that really analogic sound. And this is like the Onirigami, the game with that I showed about with the small the figurines, but they are going to do a version for iPad. So if you're interested, you're gonna ask me after because that's something really cool. And that's another game that's also really cool. That's called Intraland. It's a game about civic liberties and the internet. And that happens in a world where the internet is like super controlled, and you can't do anything. Like this is actually the world where you wander, and it's when you get the game, it's you have also this manual, and you see where the things that are written normally are the code of conduct, the thing that you have to do to respect. And if you put some I think black light, that's what it's called, you see like a manifesto written by the rebels, and that gives you like a manual to hack the game and to gain more liberties into the world. So yeah, that's like this kind of really weird world where things are really you can't do anything at first. You only follow a rail, and then more and more you can hack with this interface. So, and it's a really nice game. So I don't know how much time do I have. I don't know. Well. The second thing, I'm going to try to tell you a bit about my master thesis, and I'm trying to go fast but be understandable. It was a work called Stephen King of Fighters, and it was about narration in video games. And wait, I lost my cursor. Oh, right, it's here. And it's my notes. Don't look at them. Don't look at them. And it was about the subject of narration in video games, which is a subject that's heavily discussed. Like we had another presentation about it. And I think that they are. How do you say? I think the digital change of the digital world, the fact that we are now working with computers, changed the way we see the narration. In traditional, where's my cursor? Well, in traditional talk about video games, narration is seen as a reward, something that the player can get when he does good things, like a cinematics. Like you can get, you can go more further in the story, or it's also something that can be seen as something that holds the game back. Like, oh no, I have a cutscene, I want to pass it, I can't pass it, it bores me. And when you talk about heavily narrative games, that's mostly cinematic games or games with a lot of like word counts. And I don't think that's really what's interesting about narration in video games. I think video games have their own way of conveying a story. So in my master thesis, I talked about 20th century structuralist French guys who talked about narration, so I'm going to skip that because that's complicated and a bit boring. But some... Wait, I'm still lost, don't have my cursor. Damn. The things that's a problem to me is that the ludologists, the people that study games, started to see narration as something that was outside of games, something that might get in the way of games, but because it was understandable at the start, because in the academy, you couldn't discuss games, you couldn't how do you say, analyze game. It was something that was always part of cinema studies or things like that. So they had to make the talk more about the systemic rule-based games to get a kind of legitimacy as an academic field. But I think now that's a bit limiting, because a narration in a game is also something that's really important, but that's not something, they were right to me, I think that's not something that can be taught as something, as the narration in movies or in books. So to me, there's two kinds of narration at works in the game. The kind of static narration that's pre-written by an author, and the one that I would call the real-time narration, the one that occurs when the game is played. And that's actually something that's really resonates with. I don't know if you know about the structuralist. No, the situationist, the international situationist, was a 1960s political current. There was a brother of communism. And they were always questioning the thing that we take for granted, and they had something that's really interesting. It's the notion of I don't have the English word, sorry. The notion of misappropriation. Like you take the thing and you change it to be for yourself. And to me, that's something that's really, that's what games are about. That's like, there's an author that makes a story, but then you take it and it's no more the author. The author doesn't have any more things to do with it. It's yours. And that's what games are. That's what narration in games is. It's between a player and a ludic process. I don't know if I'm clear. Yes? Thanks. I think after Pippin talk yesterday, that in fact it might be even occurring between the game, like what the author did, the player who is playing the game, and the code, the computer. And that's why I want to talk about something that I think is more important in game than interactivity. It's procedurality, the way to build content that reacts to player inputs based on rules, and can get extremely complex, and give the illusion of something that has free will. Wait. And that's something that allows games to come out of the static representation and into the dynamic representation. And yeah, to me that's something that's really important, because that's basically what narration is in a game. It's procedural narration. It's something that happens when you play. If you don't play it, that's also something that the situationist theorized, is that the difference between it was at first in books, it was between a place and a space. A place, it's just a physicality, and a space exists when you interact with it, and that's exactly what happened with video game narration. It happened when you play it. If you don't play it, there's absolutely no narration in the game. And when you play it, the different actions that you do have an influence on the narration. It's not something that's pre-generated, but it's something that's constantly reactualized each time you play. And some things that happens as in the player's mind as in the screen, as much as in the screen. So basically, that was my master thesis, but very condensed. Sorry, I talked about a lot more things, but I don't know if I've lost you already now. Good. And so I want to talk about now my game, and then do you have a few more minutes, or no? So I'm gonna go really fast, and I've lost my cursor again. All right. So that was my master's thesis. It's super cool. And now I want to talk about my game. My game comes. I'm gonna pass some slide. You don't care. You don't care. Yeah. I was talking about the cultural schism that exists in video games now, and it was a bit like what happened in the 1960s with movies. There was like super production. There was the entertainment, the adventure, and more experimental and about author movies, like this movie, which was Paris nous appartient de Jack Rivet. And I don't know if that's something really French, the notion of author. Apparently some people told me that's not something that's quite fight for, but in France it's like, if you're not an author, you're almost nothing. It was interesting to make the parallel with games, with this kind of real personal game that exists, like Problematic by Liz Ryerson, or more contemplative and like let me say, when you take a step back, like cool game, chill game, like Kentucky Route Zero. So my game is called Within, and it's an experimental video game about anxiety. So I'm a bit, you can guess that I'm quite terrified right now. Yeah. And my idea was what will be a game based on a proper virtual space, and also how to evoke the diffuse feeling of anxiety using space in a video game. My process was very much about video game DIY, so that's why I really like Source Talk, and it was like trying to do something myself in 3 months, see what I can do, and do things or be taught how to do things myself, not ask someone else to do things. And find design solution to a lack of resources, because I think that's something that's the base of creativity, is to do nice thing with nothing. So that's my game Within. You can play it downstairs. I don't know if you have already done it. And it was I wanted to make a space that also can be. You can make a parallel with the human mind, something that's constantly changing, constantly rearranging itself. and that exists only when the player walks in it. That's typically a space that doesn't exist when you don't play the game. Like you have a memory of the space, but not really. You're lacking something. You're lacking the thing that you get when you play it. And only game session only represent a tiny part of what the space can be. The space is recognizable but never identical. Yes, so that's an overstanding space. And a shadow chase you, and that was kind of a way I had to represent anxiety, like something that when you're like doing your everyday things, like moving around in weird corridors, you get something that comes and force you to flee, to that change the way you live. And so my methodology was to first write a small text, a small story, and see how I could transform it into mechanics to tell this story without words. And also what was super important to me was the iterative process. So that was one of the first thing I did. Like you're lost and in the dark, and there's a weird light. You have to come to it. I started to make some stuff in Unity, see how I could generate different things. I tried to look on algorithm to put things together. That's basically my algorithm. That's just an A star. I don't know if you know what it is. That's basically a pathfinding algorithm that's a link to two rooms together. It was super messy, but it's working more or less like that. Is it working? Yes. So yeah, it builds things like that, and when it finds a correct path, it goes yay. And then that's the thing that was for the pathfinding of the shadow, so it could move. I tried to look into different style, but I like this one, but it was super, like all the spatters on the wall was like too long to make, so I ditched it. This was no. Yeah, thanks, but I was too like Mondrian works, and not really what I wanted to do. And yeah, that was the first stuff I did. Like try to work with the tethered shadow, and well, and stuff like that. I really like the tethered shadow that like erase the space, and then you fall and yeah. And yeah, something that was also in my practice was design by subtraction. Remove everything that's are not necessary to the game, and that's what Remy said yesterday, and that's something that I think is really important. I think Keita Takahashi also said that, and so all the cool guys say it, so why not me? And that's the end. So you can hit me up. That's the correct expression. Hit me up. All right, hit me up on. That doesn't mean on Twitter. And yeah, I'm looking for a job. So if you have some, that's it. Thanks. I don't know if we have time for questions. Torsten. Oh yeah. Wait. Yeah, so sorry, I had to go super fast, so that's why maybe the part of my master thesis was a bit wobbly. But I hope it was cool. So if you have question, go ahead, hit me up. Yeah. Okay.
I was curious about the interactive comic you were talking about at the beginning.
Yeah?
How much do you know about that? Were you involved with that? Or
with the...
While you were school? Yeah.
Well, I didn't catch what you said.
The interactive comic? The comic where your phone could engage with the
Oh,
screen?
yeah. That was another student. But that's something... There's a French company that does a lot of things like that. Interaction between books and like phones or stuff like that. It's called, I could give you the name after that. It's called Les Éditions Volumiques.
Okay.
In French, yeah. And so, yep. Yeah.
Do you feel that in that time you actually accomplished what you were looking for?
No. No, not at all. Actually, I lost a lot of months to do things that in the end didn't work, like the pathfinding stuff to generate rooms. I was like, nah, I'm not gonna do that. I'm like going to do some candid algorithm that's going to, no, didn't work at all. I lost a month. And I wanted to do way more things, but I had to cut a lot of things. And that's actually good because it taught me to release something, even if you're not completely fine with it. Because, or if you don't do that, you're going to work infinitely on it and never release anything, because it always can be improved. Yep.
Cool.